welcome and thanks for joining us as we reflect on a milestone achievement of the Division of Student Services and Development's 10th anniversary at the St. Augustine Campus, UWI. In this landscape of higher education, student services and development is paramount. We need those services to help our students develop holistically, and we have to ensure that the experience at university is a positive one. And even if it's a negative one, we help empower them to deal with the various challenges. Let's talk. Emerita Professor Rhoda Reddock. Prof. Prof, oh my gosh, you take me way back. You take me way back to the beautiful work and exciting work we did in this function of student services. And Professor Reddock was the deputy principal for the period 2008 to 2017. And let me go further to say that she was the engine behind the restructuring of this function called Student Services on the St. Augustine Campus. And she took it from Student Advisory Services and ADLU and SAC into a lovely division of Student Services and Development, what we call the DSSD. So Prof, I have those memories, and you know, it was really nice memories of growth and vision. So having you at the helm and my boss, and we discussing where this function could go, and you coming to understand the importance of that function. You came from a space where you were not as intimate with student services as you did when you entered the deputy principal position, and the way you embraced the importance of that position and what it meant to the institution, you know, as it is in other higher education landscapes. So, Prof, I want to start by asking you, you know, the key support services that existed before. We could talk a little about that on the campus, and what drove you to say, okay, let us change that model and get a model called the Division of Student Services and Development.
Okay, what a pleasure it is to meet with. Thanks for remembering me.
You can't be forgotten,
Yeah,
Prof.
it was really an interesting time, you know, whenever I try to do something, I tend to get all into it. And I think that I'm a sociologist. So I am always concerned with people. And I think that in many of our structures, our organizations, our bureaucracies, we tend to forget the people part. And, you know, we teach sociology, we teach social work, we teach mediation, we teach all of these things, psychology. But yet, where is this implemented within our own structures and systems? So I came, before that, when I came, I didn't even know this was part of the responsibility. And but I said, you know what? I knew Mr. Cohen. You know, I used to work with him from time to time. I remember you once coming to ask for help when I was in gender studies.
I might not always ask for help.
So from the beginning, I knew what existed. I knew that there was, of course, student advisory services that did a lot with off-campus and on-campus accommodation. I knew that financial assistance came out of student advisory services and also career, you know, I think you all already did the World of Work.
Correct.
And things like that in that one little office. But for me, the student services and development function, I remember Deirdre, you asking me, why development? And I said, when the students come, they have to be different when they leave. And that is still my concern. How does the University of the West Indies address the developmental function of making our graduates the ideal graduates that are supposed to be part of all of our strategic plans? So also as deputy principal, you get to see what's happening with students. You know, the students come to complain. And one of the things I did was I set up a digital system to monitor, document, monitor the complaints, and then at the end of the year, you could see what are the concerns of the students. And then I said, you know what? this campus in particular, this Mona was much better.
Yes.
I said, we have to get a proper institution to address student services and the development of students. And my other concern was alumni, because I said the experiences that students have on the campus will determine how they feel about the institution and their willingness to be active and supportive alumni after they graduate. So all of these were the motivations that I had. And as usual, whenever I have to do something, I always do research and write papers.
You did.
So I think I wrote a paper on the student services. For financial services, I wrote a huge tome, because what I realized is that there were pieces of financial services all over the place. There was the scholarships, which met once a year, usually after the students had come in. That was the ones
in admissions.
Then there were the
assistants,
the things that came from the endowment fund.
Correct.
Then
there was there's grants. Then there was adopt a student.
Exactly. And then there were other little things all over the place.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? Where does one student, a one-stop shop, go? Where you can also guide students.
Correct.
How to apply for a loan. They tell you there's a health loan, there's all of this, and you as a student supposed to go and find it. I remember it in the US, they called it financial aid. And I knew that we would never be able to be given financial aid. So I called it advisory services, so that you could get advice on how is the best way to address the circus. And I always remember there were these university scholarships that we never got.
Tapped into.
Because we never attended the meetings. And therefore, that is one department I'm very happy to see that has developed. And also, as you know, my work with co-curricular and
service learning,
these were part of the developmental aspects of the students. I still feel our education system, beginning with primary school, is very weak, very hollowed out, very narrow, and we at UWI can't really address completely what went beforehand.
Correct.
But I think that through that, I hope that we could try to do something.
And that is when you incorporate it with career development, career management.
Yes, exactly.
You made it co-curricular.
And I'm so happy that it's still on, although I know it has not been easy. Yeah, because our system was not built for a broad education. Our system was very occupation-based.
Yes.
So you're trained as an engineer, you're trained as a teacher, you're trained as a psychologist, you're trained as a lawyer. But you were never trained to be an educated and informed person. And this is what I thought was one of the big problems. So as a result, it was so difficult to find space.
But Prof, just to expand a bit in terms of the comment you just made, and that we were just trained to be, let's say, an engineer as opposed to an educated person. I have this thing in my office that says exactly that. If you're educated to get a certification alone, then you're an uneducated person. So, but that comment is directed, so I'm asking, is that comment directed at the educational systems throughout the Caribbean, or you specifically speak about our tertiary landscape?
Well, three things I could say about. Yes, it's the education system, which has, in my view, deteriorated over the years. That's one thing. The second point is that, of course, when we get the students, what I was trying to do was to find a space on the timetable or in the curriculum to add other things.
Developmental stuff, correct?
And it was very difficult. It's still a problem to add anything because of the structure. But the third point is we teach education. We have an opportunity to influence what's happening in the country and region's education system. So I think that I really felt that we as an institution needed to do more. we were dissatisfied with the quality of students that came in, but what were we doing in order to improve that? So that was very important. It was important too, I felt, to have a community of student services staff, because as you said, there were some in your office, then there were some over there.
Correct.
But there needed to be synergy.
Correct.
You know, you should be able to send people in different places. So I felt that having this system could also give you a stronger identity. And also, I had really hoped for more resources. But I'll deal with that later. I will deal with that later.
Yes.
So I mean, it's up to you really to tell me what has been the impact on the overall student experience. You know.
From the time we spoke about it, Prof, you know, that vision was a really good vision. And because there was less confusion for the students in terms of where else I could go and feel I'm part of a system as opposed to going to every department. So I was excited about that, and we started the DSSD with, like you said, you pulled out financial assistance from SAS and you made it into a department. You pulled out careers as part of SAS and made that a department. We pulled out accommodation from SAS and formed Student Accommodation Office. And of course for the Guild, because at that time there was no governing body really for the Guild of Students. So what you then did was allow the Guild Administrative Office then to be part of the division. And that really worked really well, because what happened is that the student, we could map the student and map the kind of assistance we'd have given to the student. So if a student come to us, for example, for a hardship grant or adopt a student, it was a natural flow to go to careers. Can we get them a part-time job? And understand what's going on with the students, and then they may have to advise them. Maybe you may want to seek counseling. So there was more a holistic approach to engaging the students and engaging. So that has worked. That has worked well with us, and the students recognize there's a division that stand behind them in all those various areas. And since you left that position, it has expanded. We now have a whole department in that engaged student does student engagement. So that thing we called FYE and orientation back then, which was just orientation as a function, is now couched in a whole department that focuses on student engagement and not just activities, but programming and being intentional about how they...
But you know, that was always a concern. I remember that was an issue that this organization, you all have which one? The Regional Student Services Body.
Yes.
That issue of student engagement was a big issue.
Yes.
And therefore, I think we had already begun to discuss it. So I'm very happy that it has now
it's formalized.
Developed and formalized.
It's formalized.
And I think that it's important to know that, because you know what used to feel, I remember now, I don't know if this has changed, the St. Augustine Campus has always had that problem with student engagement. You know, if you go to Jamaica, there's a feeling of community on the campus. But on this campus, by Friday, campus is empty. You know, people come for classes and leave. You don't feel like if it's a space that you want to be part
It's
of.
improved. That improved. But unfortunately, Prof, post-COVID, it has disappeared. Literally, I think that's the worst we've seen it.
That's true.
The students were around and stuff, and then came COVID, and the whole... I'm going to give you a perfect example. Something like the World of Work, which was one of our is one of our flagship programs,
of course,
which we had 1,500 students, 12,000 students. We had to rebuild that brand in the couple years post-COVID, and up to now, the brand in terms of students' awareness of it and engaging it. It's still, we have gone back 20 years in terms of that to get them back involved. So we have seen that in terms of the that particular program and engagement, but there's a wider view and vision for student engagement. Is not only about activities, but we engage the students at various levels within the DSSD. So whereas though, Prof, what I want to say is that the DSSD understands its mandate. It understands its role, and the 9 managers across the division embrace that. I think, though, that there's still need for center stage.
Yes.
The function, which is the DSSD, that they house, all those functions need to be viewed in a different strategic kind of, way as to how we're doing it now. It has improved, but you know me, I'm greedy. I want to see it, on a much broader and take center stage and be part of strategic decisions. And the understanding that we do not have a student that is educated if they just have a certificate or certification. We really need to ensure that the other skills are very well developed.
Right, exactly. And I used to say, I still say, that we have a crisis of credentialism, in that what students get is not education, but papers and subjects.
Correct.
There's somebody,
Correct.
he didn't get a job and he has so much subjects.
Yes.
And the truth is, the number of subjects students are being taught in school is reduced, is declined, it's less than what I used to do.
Correct.
So really, the expectation of even a student entering the campus, lecturers tell me they cannot teach students what they used to teach. Certainly what I used to teach 10 years ago, it's impossible now.
Different.
So it means that the role of DSSD, and I'm thinking also of the role of students with disabilities.
Special,
that's so important. What I also
support.
introduced was peer tutoring. Does that still exist?
Yes, it does.
Because to me that was very important. I was interested in students who were just weak, but also students with disabilities, and also the sports. The students, remember, sports was also, we tried to get them in the SSD, but they went on their own.
Decided not to.
But the athletes who were traveling to go and play cricket and missing their exams or missing their classes.
Correct.
For me, the peer tutoring was also
it's still very much
and I'm very
alive.
happy
So
to know that.
you now became Student Life and Development.
Yes, and I gave more work to them, which of course was a big challenge.
Yeah, regional
because
and
they
national
got more
students.
work with less results.
Well, let's talk about that. I'm happy you went there, Prof. Haven't spoken about the insight. What drove you to change that whole model? And people excited to follow you with it. I must say as well, and to see now the fruit it has given all of us in terms of support for this campus. So we understand your vision, what you thought we needed something more cohesive. We needed to ensure that the services was a one-stop shop, that people understood what the function was for the institution. Let's talk a little about the insights of the process of restructuring.
Oh, Lord.
And what happened, because from my view, we restructured. There is a division, but Prof, there was never an ounce, a bit more of resources, not financial, not human. Still.
Okay. Well, what I can say is that St. Augustine has always been a very technocratic campus. I think the energy industry, the oil industry has given it that focus. In fact, when I was deputy principal in our senior management team, all my colleagues were engineers, except for myself and the buzzer. It was amazing.
Wow.
The principal was an engineer. The director of HR was an engineer. The deputy registrar was an engineer. The registrar was an engineer. Honestly, and I was a sociologist. So it was really difficult. And if you know anything about engineering on this campus, especially in years gone by, they did nothing else except engineering. It's only recently they've introduced, I think, English language.
Different things,
and ethics. They don't even do the university courses. So it was a very difficult atmosphere to be trying to do these things. It was not an enabling environment.
Yeah.
And there were lots of other student things that we did in the office in addition to the DSSD. But that is why I wanted the Student Amenities Fund, because I realized that without it, the student function would never get the resources that it required. So I remember after 4 years of pleading with my then principal and then working out different scenarios.
Correct.
He eventually said to me, you could do a restructuring, but it must not cost 1 cent more. Could you imagine?
I can't.
It was terrible.
I can't.
And anyway, we did it, and we tried to find ways of getting additional resources. I had hoped that
10 years in.
Remember before I left, I actually had blueprints for the new DSSD space.
Yes.
And of course, now we are back. I don't know how many years since then to be considering it again.
It's 10 years.
Yes.
We have a lot of, we use some students, we have some temporary staff, but we have new departments with no staff.
And the thing is, this is such a bad time. This is such
Exactly.
a bad time.
Exactly. And we never got additional budgets. So the same Students Advisory budget now has to run 6 departments. And, the staff, I have to say kudos to the staff. They're so committed and they so understand the function and the importance of it in the lives of our students that they give and they go over and beyond.
But I think that we neglect this area at our peril.
Correct.
Because as I said, another part of my concern, as I said, was to improve the student experience and to make the student experience one where students felt, empowered to support the institution.
And there again, Prof. So we still have that function staring us in the face. So now in an environment which is worse than 10 years ago, but which begs the question, where will the students go? Because now, if it's worse for us as a country and as a region and as the world, what about the students? That means it's 10 times worse for them. And then now we have to be the one empowering them with the lead. So it is really a kind of a maze, really. But we're there for the students, we're there for the students.
But I know that sometimes the Student Amenities Fund was able, maybe not, for example, I know at Student Life and Development, they were able to get a bus.
Yes. So these things,
So in other words, not the kind of institutional resources that are required, but just kind of...
That fund really helps. It has helped the DSSD pull out many resources that we needed, for various functions. So we do get the support of the Amenities Fund, but I think, it's time for it to be really correct, examined, and really make that a priority.
But as I said, it's so unfortunate that this campus never really understood the significance of that particular responsibility. And I really hope that in the next 10 years, we'll see a serious change. Because sometimes it's the will. I know about the will because I came from gender studies, which began at this campus with one lecturer and one AA, and I wasn't even provided with space.
Yes.
So I know what it is to build up something. So I really hope that...
I think we will, Prof. I wouldn't sit by and say, well, nothing has been done. I've seen growth in terms of the recognition of the function. I see now where our leaders will actually speak of the functions of the DSSD and the impact it has had on the students. And we welcome that and we're happy for that. So I think it's moving there. I just wish to have a little more wheels and have a motor and move faster. But we appreciate that. But we really call for more. In this 10th year, we think we need a little injection of some sort of
When
resource.
I was there, the website had not been.
DSSD?
Is it there
Oh,
now?
it's out of this world.
Okay,
It's
I must
out of you.
really
You must
check
look
it
at
out.
it. We have one for FYE. I mean, it's out of this world, you know. So check it out, Prof, and you will be proud to see your 10 years of work where it has landed. And we wanted to say something.
But there were some things that I wasn't able to do.
That's okay,
You
Prof,
know?
but you did a lot.
I know.
You did a lot. You saw the vision. 10 years later, it is still there. We have increased in the departments that serve the students. The passion is still there. The drive is still there. Recognition is definitely coming. So we hope in the next 10 years, it will all be all about the DSSD and nothing else. So, Prof, we want to really thank you for that, for the vision, for the effort, and for sticking with it and understanding the importance of that function that you had the will and the drive to make it so organized.
And I really want to thank you all because, you know, sometimes you put a lot of effort into institutions, organizations, and then when you leave,
it dies.
They die.
Yeah.
So I'm really grateful for you all for continuing to carry this important work. And thanks for bringing me back for a check-in.
Prof, check-in. Yeah, tap on that. Thanks so much, Prof. Thanks for that. And we'll continue engaging the students. This is our lifeline. This is what we're here for. And we understand the importance to the students and the holistic development. So, Prof, again, thank you, and happy 10th anniversary of the DSSD.
Hi Joseph, it's good to be back on campus. St. Augustine Campus, this is where it all began for me as a guild president serving here from 2015 to 2017. But you know, I was on the guild way before that, you know, serving as National Affairs Committee chairperson, and then moving on to vice president of the guild. At that point in time, it had 2 Peters on the guild. They couldn't identify if it was Matthew Peters or Mackenzie Peters. But those were exciting times. How is it now for you?
I would say now it's very unique. Still exciting, never will not be exciting. Very unique, just like you, I also served on the guild prior. So I was the EPT rep before, then I became the PRO, and in the middle of my PRO tenure, I became the president. So, because we had a unique situation, but thankful for it because it gave an opportunity for us to really reflect and learn about what we could do better and what we need to improve on. And it's always a great experience serving the students. And I mean, when you're talking about serving students, DSSD always comes to mind. 10 years, 10th anniversary is really something spectacular, and I think it's an essential component of all university life, especially in St. Augustine.
I think student services on the campus came a very long way, and this 10-year anniversary that unit is celebrating. When I came on the campus after quite some time, and I saw all the infrastructure, the water coolers, everything. Students, back then, we didn't see the importance of it because as a guild, you protect the rights of the students. And we did protest it. I remember going into Professor Rhoda's office and even going to a boss and making a big issue about it. But back then it was, you didn't see the vision until 10 years after.
Yeah.
Right? And I think 10 years after, with the changes and the policies that the unit implemented, I think the students of today are really benefiting from a modern facility, modern technology, modern overall facilities that the students could see and feel tangible results. And I think the guild now, you know, has transitioned from what it used to be before. I could tell you back in my days, it was quite different compared to how it is now. And I think you all are the guild of today benefits from a modern approach to how dealing with student issues. And back then, we didn't have the guidance as compared to you have now. Professor Rhoda and Dr. Charles played a critical role in facilitating that transition for us. And I think for me, where I am today, the lessons and the pressure I get in those meetings prepared me for the boardrooms that I am in today. So I think this 10-year anniversary is quite impactful, and I hope that the unit continues to do more as the other students come into the campus.
I mean, I have no doubt on that, especially as you spoke about Dr. Charles. and the admin office and all of that, giving support. I could say for my tenure specifically, a lot of the stuff that I did, I could not do without the admin office.
Yes.
They really guided in the best way possible, and I wholeheartedly appreciated that. In no way did they ever try to really infringe and say, you all can't do this, don't do that. It was never that. It was always, tell us what you want done and we're going to help you do it. We'll help you do it this way, we'll help you go through the right processes, and that was always good. And you're very right to say that the students of today are very different than the students of the past.
Yes.
And the issues that they're facing now are different from the issues that they were facing before. And I could say the same thing for the campus on a whole. At least now, I have been involved with DSSD for quite some time. I saw the value in it when I was in year 2, and I applied to be what is now a DSSD student champion. So they have a group of students that lead with engagement on campus. Because of that, I was able to get involved in so many spheres, and I've gotten to work with differently abled students in SLDD. I've gotten to help out with those sorts of things. SAC management, I've gotten to get involved with SAC and the student hub, and SAC has been a big part of me. It will always be a big part of me. And all of that falls under the DSSD.
Yes.
And I don't think students really realize the impact that a holistic student life has on you going
Yes,
forward. And
that is
as you were saying, you can now sit down in a meeting and be prepared to face when the hammer drops. I can say the same thing for myself, and a lot of that has to do with being involved with DSSD.
Wow. And in addition to that, I think one thing stood out for me back in my day. We had something called Food for Thought.
Right.
And that initiative directly fell under me as the National Affairs Committee chairperson. And one group of students that really meant so much to me was international and regional students, because they are coming from so far. And most of them, they don't have some of the luxuries that we have here. We could go back home south, tune up, wherever. But they have to take a plane. And the student unit used to work on Operation Hot Chocolate, I think it is. I don't know if it still exists. But Operation Hot Chocolate, I remember back in the day, we used to rivalry with them. We used to say we want to bring, if we could bring doubles or japs, but they always beat us all the time. It was on point. The students benefited from it significantly. And I could have seen how that impacted, especially upon our regional students who just cannot or couldn't afford basic amenities. When I think about the bursary system, when I think about the whole life and the opportunities that are provided there for residential assistance, etc., I think the unit went way above and beyond to assist regional and international students, because to me, they were the group of students on campus who always felt vulnerable.
Most vulnerable, I
to
agree.
some of the shocks that would have happened externally, you know?
I agree with you. Matter foods or food for thought
Yes.
is still a thing. Yeah.
Matter season reach.
Still a thing. It's actually next week for us, reading
wow.
week. We had it in semester 1, we have it in semester 2. It's still under the NAC. It's a big,
Yes.
big guild project. So that's definitely still a continuing thing that students look forward to. But as you said, halls, and you said regional and international students. This year, actually, we had Caribbean Integration Week for the first time in a while. The previous guilds, for whatever reasons, you know, it wasn't able to happen. Our IAC brought it back this year. It was well received by the international students, but specifically with DSSD, they do a service called check-in. It's where when the international students come for the first time to the country,
that is true. Yes.
they stay on hall. The champions stay with them sometimes. We take them around. You know, this is where you can get food. This is what we do. We have an island parade. They get introduced to pan and soca, the best thing in the world, in my opinion. So it's really a good welcome.
Yes.
And that is facilitated through the DSSD.
Exactly. And I think the last point I'll make is about accountability. Back in our day, there was very limited checks and balances, and the DSD would have introduced some systems to help us manage finances. And in the management of our financial resources, we'll find that before, persons would have wanted to charge exorbitant amounts. And as a student back then, you just don't really understand how the market works. And therefore, one thing Dr. Charles, and I appreciate that about her, I used to call Miss Mary Balber Singh, and I used to protest. And then after I called Professor Rhoda, and she said, Mikesi, you need to talk to Dr. Charles. And I called Dr. Charles. Dr. Charles would say, well, come in her office. When I sit in her office, she'll go through with me line by line and show me, well, no, this have to be right. You need to check this, need to check that. And at the end of the day, we would have leave with proper results. Now, today, from where I sit, I deal with a lot of financial stuff, and things will come before me, and I will question it. I will scrutinize it. I will ask questions because I want to be accountable. And I think these are some of the lessons that back then I didn't understand it, but now as I'm much older, functioning in a senior capacity, the lessons through that this unit has instilled in me, and not only me, it had guild presidents that served after me, Narayan, and we had even Hillon Morin before that. You know, we had some presidents that would have passed through some hard learnings, and today I'm sure we're all grateful for the lessons that we would have learned.
I could agree with you there. The same way that Dr. Charles would coach you through those processes.
Yes.
Now it's really done at the guild admin office level.
Very good.
Ms. Bess Noel, who's our guild admin office manager, she makes sure we dot our I's and cross our T's before anything reach high up, which I appreciate, because when you really think about it, as a guild counselor, you are in a very volatile and vulnerable position.
Yes, you are.
And a lot of the times you're thrust into that position for the first time. So having someone to coach you through it is excellent, and genuinely I thank the DSSD for that. It is a unit that does not get the appreciation it deserves, I really genuinely think. And when I think of the entire department on a whole, and when you really look at it and examine it, and you think of financial assistance, you think of SLDD, which is student life. They facilitate differently able students, all of those things, additional exam writing venues. You think of SAC, you think of the guild admin office, office of the director. When you really sit back and you examine how many services are truly available to students, it's outstanding.
Yes.
And my whole thing as a president this year was always about student engagement, bringing back a life to campus. You know, when you leave, you don't just remember, well, I have this piece of paper, this is my degree. You remember, wow, I met these people at this event, I did this, I never did this before, and I was so excited to try it for the first time, and that was a big part of me, and the unit really helped facilitate that.
Yes, yes.
And as a guild, I think that's important.
I think overall it's a holistic experience, and being guild president, which you could appreciate as well, we got the opportunity to see all 4 campuses.
Yes.
So Mona, Kville, and in visiting the other campuses, it's more or less mirrored across the board for a same holistic experience.
Yes.
But I still will say St. Augustine is the best.
I agree.
This is
100%.
my campus. I love my campus. And, you know, I think that the people here is very, 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 very much invested in the young people and the guild. I know when Miss Bess had just came to our office, she came a little hard, you know, but the hard learnings was necessary.
Yeah.
It brought reform to the office. We saw realignment of staff. The guild that you see today was a transition that literally happened during my tenure.
Right.
From 2016 to 2017. That is when most of the changes, in my opinion, would have happened, but it happened for the benefit. So it would have been tumultuous then, it would have been a lot of turmoil back then. But I think everyone now could see the impact and the benefits that it has had on the student life here on this campus. And I too want to publicly congratulate this unit for really invested in students. And I want to thank them for investing in me, because my quote-unquote journey advocating for students' rights and fighting for the differently able, representing international students, looking at national issues and commenting on it in a very responsible way. I think that is what the unit brings to the table, and that is what the unit encourages. So I think we are all in good hands.
I agree, and I really do have to say, happy 10-year anniversary to the DSSD. We appreciate everything that you have done for every single student on this campus, and we just hope to see the unit grow.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
So, okay, my journey with student services really started in 2004 when I was an undergraduate student. And back then, I had just turned 18 and my parents were like, you need to find a job. And I was just brave enough one day to walk into Dr. Charles' office and say, Dr. Charles, by chance you have any internships? And she looked at me and she said, hold on, let me find out. And that was my introduction into student services. And I would say it has been a passionate experience for me. Falling in love with just serving students, I think that was the charm back then. Just doing things to help students achieve the best in their university experience has been the most memorable part of it for me.
Yeah, and it's funny you should say like achieve the best, because my journey started similarly. You know, I came in from the Mona campus and I was like familiar with student services. At the time, I believe it was Dr. Thalora Reynolds and stuff. So I had expectations coming in here. But when I came in, I wasn't necessarily looking for support for myself. At the time, I was a part of the student government. I was the postgraduate president. So I came in looking to see what support was available to postgraduate students. So, and I had the opportunity of meeting with Dr. Charles and Mr. Supersad, who were, Dr. Charles was the head of still is the head of the function currently. And just to learn about the resources available to the students, and of course share that with my community of students that I was lobbying for and advocating for. And then after that, I needed a job as well. So one day I was walking and I booked Dr. Charles up on the corridor, and I said, Dr. Charles, do you have any opportunities for me? And of course, from there it was, she looked into it, I got a job and history, and I must say that as a student coming into a function like this and coming in from a student leadership role, you already have somewhat of an insight of what's happening. But I think when you get into the role itself, it gives you an opportunity to learn the role in a more intimate way. Wouldn't you say, you get to learn what all the different functions are, who all the staff members are, but then you also get to learn the wider ecosystem.
Yes,
of the
certainly.
university.
I certainly agree. I think an interesting part of the journey was also just the attention to detail for every single program. And as a student assistant back then, I think it was interesting that we had so many students working on different aspects of the project. And then when you stood and you saw it all come together, for me, it was phenomenal. And I think I understood then all of this would go into one program for students. And I think for me, that was the lightning moment. I think that was the aha moment. And then I started to discover it seriously in terms of career. How can I really work in a higher ed institution and support students in these ways, even beyond graduation?
But that must have also been very enlightening for you in terms of your journey when you later on take on the role of developing programs in the same function for students. Would you say then that the insight from working as a student assistant, coming in and seeing the details that the staff pay in terms of the different programs, how they're tailored for the students. Would you say that that also assisted you in terms of helping to develop some of these programs later on and customizing the programs for the different students, regional and international students, for instance, having tailored programming for them? Even something as simple as picking the students up who are arriving at the airport, etc. And I think that those things are really important. And from the student perspective, you don't see it and understand the importance or the value of it. It's only when you get into the function, into the role as a student assistant, but also as staff.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Certainly. And I think Aduke, one of the joys of working in student services is just, apart from being passionate, is just seeing it through to the end and the success stories of, receiving students support, as a student and now giving as a staff. I think for me, it's exciting. I think for me, it's very purposeful. And I think a lot of our students may not understand every single aspect. But when we sit to create and design programs with our students in mind, we do it from a place of empathy. We understand. Once I didn't have enough money to get to university, and now I have. If a student comes to me in leadership and says to me, oh, well, I don't have any lunch, I operate from a place of empathy. And I think being on staff in a management role, I think it really helps you to understand student services from a very interesting perspective.
I think that also that idea of empathy is something that you carry on throughout the journey. You lived through it. I lived through it as students. So it also helps you in terms of your role as staff to develop and to carry forward what the empathy, what you need for the students, how to tailor for the students, understanding a little bit more what they're going through, understanding a little bit more, having a keener sense of problem solving, resolving some of the issues, putting systems in place to assist them and ensure that some of what they go through can be alleviated by the support that's offered through, student services, etc. So I feel like coming in as a student and transitioning to staff, one of the things that happens is that you have insight, but then you also develop foresight in that process. So I think it has been a unique journey for me in particular. I would say, Amanda, it has been a very rewarding journey because, I mean, it's a part of it's a function that has helped me to even understand who I am, understand my capabilities, and understand the impact, the kind of impact that I would want to have on this world.
Certainly. And I think for me, at the 10th year mark is just special to understand how this division has evolved from Student Advisory Services to now the DSSD, as our students know, and the whole cadre of programs available to them. You know, it's really tailored, it's really very student-centric, and it's very powerful for students to understand the value of it to their university experience.
Yeah, I think it has been amazing watching the transition from Student Advisory Services to the Division of Student Services and Development, and watch the various functions burgeon and grow. You know, we now have a student engagement unit who have worked assiduously towards the student leadership function and making it a more systematic, strategic function in such a way that those things didn't exist when I was a student leader. You have students going to conferences, you know, to develop their leadership skills, hone and develop their leadership skills, and I think that is a remarkable accomplishment. Kudos to you, but kudos to the Division of Student Services and Development on 10 years, you know?
10 years.
Over the last 10 years, the DSSD has had the privilege of impacting so many lives. In its evolution, the DSSD significantly expanded areas of support for our students at the St. Augustine Campus. Let's take a closer look.
In 2015, when Professor Reddock, in her wisdom, decided to bring together the DSSD strategically exactly in the middle of the strategic plan for 2012-2017, which spoke to the distinctive UE graduate. And so the distinctive UE graduate attributes, it pertains even today, you know, critical thinkers, one who's grounded in Caribbean identity, a problem solver, critical thinker. And so when we think about developing our students, their professional development, at the core of our department is how we help the students transition into the world of work. And so our core function is really the professional development of our students, providing them with the skills and competencies they need to thrive in the workplace. And so we focus on career planning and development, co-curricular programs, and community engagement and service learning initiatives. And so it's 10 years. I really can't believe it's 10 years, but it has been 10 years, 10 wonderful years. And I want to wish the entire Division of Student Services and Development hearty congratulations of 10 years of involvement on campus, in the community, and across the region. Congratulations, DSSD.
The Financial Advisory Services Department, one of 9 departments under the Division of Student Services and Development. And so when we think about financial advisory services, one of the key things is affordability. Understanding that the road to achieving success is not paved the same way for everyone. And so we look at leveling the playing field by assessing the extent to which a student can afford to come to university. What does that mean for a student? Giving up transportation, costs for meals, having the ability to buy equipment versus not being equipped to pursue their program. And this is where we come in through our grants and funding. Another key area comes in the form of diversity and equity. Looking at students from different socioeconomic backgrounds and saying to that student, hey, we are here to assist. Perhaps in addition to the government funding that you receive, we can provide grants and other forms of financial aid to you to make it an easier and smoother journey here on the campus so you can take care of the other program-related costs. We would just want to thank all our donors and those who are instrumental in providing funding support for our students. And on this occasion, as we mark the 10th year anniversary of the DSSD, the Division of Student Services and Development, on behalf of myself and the team of the Financial Advisory Services Department, I just want to say congratulations, well done. You have survived, you have adapted, and you have evolved. And there's much more to do, but we must pause to recognize where we came from and where we are now 10 years later. Congratulations to the DSSD.
The Student Engagement Unit is the newest arm of the Division of Student Services and Development, and I am especially proud of this development because it reinforces our campus's commitment to student-centeredness. As a team, we have the absolute pleasure of focusing on diversifying the university experience for all students. So we are engaged in creating a wide range of developmental programs and multidisciplinary initiatives that promote campus involvement so that students can really get the most out of their campus life experience. And of course, we encourage learning and engagement beyond the classroom. The DSSD for me is a really valuable resource to our St. Augustine campus. And on this 10th year anniversary, I am really happy with the contributions that the DSSD has made to the UWI St. Augustine campus and the impact that we've had on the lives of so many students. So on this 10th year anniversary DSSD, I wish you all the very best and look forward to keeping momentum as we transform the lives of our students here at the UWI St. Augustine campus.
My name is Kevin Snaggs. I'm the manager of the Student Accommodation Office of the DSSD. The Student Accommodation Office has responsibilities for the halls of residence on campus. We provide administrative support for the halls of residence. Our administrative support includes the application process, the contracting for new students. We also coordinate student development and resident life programming for the halls. We do procurement, project management, and we provide strategic leaderships for the halls of residence. The DSSD has been a great support for the halls. Our collaboration with the other departments in the DSSD has helped our students in their development and in their growth. It has also brought the campus closer in terms of keeping all those sort of student services joined together. We look forward to the upcoming years as the halls look at a transition, a transformative period where we look to expand our hall offering. I'd like to take the opportunity on behalf of the Student Accommodation Office, on behalf of the halls of residence, to wish the DSSD all the best on this 10th anniversary. And we look forward to many more years of collaboration, of support from the DSSD.
I work in the Counseling and Psychological Services within the division. We really promote well-being with students. So for example, we'll run workshops on stress management, mindfulness, all the things that help students navigate university life. And of course, it's not always fun and games. Sometimes students will have quite a lot of challenges with life, with university. And so we offer counseling services for all students, basically just to help them navigate difficulties and make sure that they're kind of living their best life while they're here. I think your well-being is super important because without that, you're actually not functioning at your best. And you really want to get the best out of your university years, and we want to make sure that you succeed to the end. So I know that we're celebrating 10 years of awesome work at the division, and I really hope the division continues the good work for many, many years to come, because I know it makes a difference to our students.
So here at the Guild Administrative Office, Division of Student Services and Development, our primary role is to support student leadership development on our campus. And so we play a very integral role in the daily administration of the Guild of Students. And so we work with our students to become ethically minded and creative and critical thinkers as they get ready to bridge the gap between school and the real world of work. And so in this 10th year of the DSSD, we like to identify our role as being very strategic in focusing on student-centeredness, leadership development and design, and thought. So we want to wish the DSSD happy 10th anniversary, and we look forward to another 10 years of student leadership transformation at our campus. Cheers.
Welcome to the Student Activity Center at UWI St. Augustine. My name is Curtis Mike. I've been a manager here for 25 years, and it's been my pleasure to see the evolution of the student services from its early days to the Division of Student Services and Development. Here at the Student Activity Center, we operate a home away from home for many of our students who have to travel from different parts of the country to get here, and including even our regional students who make their homes at the nearby halls of residence. Under the stewardship of Dr. Charles, we've introduced many innovations to further our support for students here at St. Augustine. So on behalf of all of us here at the Student Activity Center, happy birthday, happy 10th birthday to the DSSD.
Welcome to the Student Life and Development Department, or the SLDD as we would normally call it, which is one of the key departments within the Division of Student Services and Development. Our key role is to provide support for every student on this campus. So we provide disability support. We provide academic support, postgraduate and mature student support, and international and regional student support. We ensure our students are successful. We are sure that they are included in all areas. We are sure that they are developed in such a way that they are fully prepared when they go out into the work market. My vision for this department is that we become a beacon of hope on this campus. So as we celebrate our 10th anniversary, DSSD, you have done great. You have really impacted the lives of many students on this campus. You have given a great name to this institution. So I would like to say, keep on keeping on. Keep on doing the work that we have been called to do. DSSD, you have done well.
DSSD is 10.
That's
10
amazing.
Years, 10 years. Let's go back a little before DSSD. Remember those days of 4 functions in student
Four
services?
functions, a little pokey house, wooden
There you
floors.
go, there you go, there you
Student
go.
advisory services.
Services.
What is student advisory services? Nobody could really.
Nobody. Just
Yeah.
remember the little 4 functions of financial support, of careers. And you remember orientation?
Orientation.
UE Life.
Listen, chief cook and bottle washer. UE Life.
UE Life, orientation. And now we have graduated.
Remember UE Life in LRC?
In LRC. Right there in LRC. Now, UE Life is part of a division that goes under the Department of Student Engagement with the DSSD. Tell me how that feels. For me, it's like watching a child grow.
It is like watching a child grow. I mean, I remember, staying up, being part of the packaging, packing a production line, putting things in bags,
a few of us
ticking to make sure persons are there, that they get their chits, that they come to
Correct.
LRC, that we have persons lined up to talk, still feeling our way around the agenda, persons not understanding really what it was.
Correct.
And then it exploded.
And there's the DSSD.
Well, UE Life. Entertainers, Remember KES?
KES.
Before KES was KES?
KES. There you go. Before KES was KES, and all the lovely prizes that was orientation. And orientation was just a function within student support services. And then we fast forward a few years and we came upon this division. When Rhoda recognized, listen, we have student services and it's scattered about the campus. And this function is way too important for us to have silos of support. And she decided, let's bring this thing to the division. And of course, you and I had the core of the discussion about student services and what it should be. And now we have departments. So the said UE Life is now part of a Department of Student Engagement and falls under the umbrella of UE First Day Experience, if you please, right? A whole set of 41 activities and programs under this FY. So tell me, what you think about this whole transition to the division and what does that mean for the campus as a whole and our students?
Well, I think its time was due. Literally what we did, or what Rhoda did, Prof. Reddock,
yes,
was bring the campus kicking and screaming into what is the typical structure in international higher education practice. And so how we support students. And I think, and I'm happy that 10 years later, persons are getting it finally. It took 10 years, but they're getting it. Understanding that student support, student development is all part of the whole journey of students and accounts for academic success.
Exactly.
The fact that you have 8, I always remember, 8 departments. And the fact that you're doing all of this on such limited resources, a lot of innovation, a lot of thinking outside of the box.
A lot of that.
You have, as you said, UE Life has always been my pet.
I know.
I know that it's being managed. Is it by Gerard?
It is.
And the fact that we saw something and we understood the potential, I think is something that is still marvelous. In fact, I think we should have written it up as a case study. It's really good. In fact, when you understand the machinery behind it and putting it on, and that and so many other supporting programs that are being done for students. One of the things that I know, and you haven't said a lot about this, Dr. Charles, I remember your advocacy for staff supporting students and this whole adopt a student.
Correct.
Many people don't understand or recognize that this was your brainchild. I wore proudly that pin that says I adopted a student. And I think that is something that we haven't fully exploited or exploded as yet. I think staff are still wanting to contribute in some way, and perhaps we should do a little more there. I see where your leadership and the leadership of your different managers has taken the department and the division. And so many good things that are coming out of the work that you're doing. The support you're giving to students, phenomenal. The work or the proclamations you make, I mean, I realize too that once you say it's so with students, it's almost like I wouldn't say matriarchal, but it's like because it's you're their friend, but they still respect you as an elder. And I think that a lot of that is translating and seeping into the DNA. In higher education, it takes that long for some things to become the norm. I think the Division of Student Services is in our DNA. I think that the work that you're doing is recognized as important. I think the leadership of the campus has recognized DSSD as important. The deans are there with you, and the students also have embraced the programs that you're doing. I can't keep track with all the different things that are happening. I go right back to you, right? I go right back to World of Work.
Yeah.
World of Work.
From 3 events to over 10 now.
All in the support of students. Just phenomenal.
Wow.
Not only that, on a shoestring budget.
And we continue to do it on a shoestring budget. But Registrar, we cannot continue to build further the next 10 years.
I know.
Oh, you know, the passion has driven the scores of student services and development, the passion of the managers, all the other employees of the division, and our team of the division, and of course partners in senior management and our colleagues around the campus and students. So we'll continue pushing through. We hope on this 10th year and the recognition of what the campus has gained, and students in particular, from the division, that we inject some much needed resources so that we could explode in greater ways as well.
Well, I think that, you know, the work that you continue to do is phenomenal, as I said. I'm sorry to be using that word over and over again. But, and it's recognized. We all recognize the importance of it for student success. I think that the campus is committed to ensuring that the department continues to succeed, because the department or the division that's succeeding means that the students succeed.
Correct.
Yeah. So while I know I can commit my commitment and my support, I've always committed to students. Students are very important, and their success is very important.
Well, thank you. So let us do 10 snaps to the 10th anniversary.
10 snaps?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
You're assuming that I can snap.
Great. Thank you, Dr. DeFugel, and thanks for the support. 10 years of guiding and steering a division strategically, 10 years of managing student careers and getting involved in community engagement and volunteerism, 10 years of scholarships and bursaries and engaging our students in financial planning, 10 years of orientation, FYE, first year experience, 10 years of student engagement, student involvement, 10 years of student leadership and guidance for students with medical conditions and disabilities and peer tutoring, 10 years of counseling and psychological services, 10 years housing, residential life, student activity, 10 years, 10 wonderful years of building a foundation, which we now dub the Division of Student Services and Development. So guess what? 10 more years of wall building. Congrats, DSSD. Well done.